like I said, watching you guys just the other day gave me one of those like, oh, click, 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 all the like, several of the tumblers fell into place on the spiritual journey. The thing that I tell people over and over again is there is no destination. Like there's not a point where, oh, I'm enlightened, I can stop now. It is the journey itself that is the learning, that is the experience. It's the journey. So to go into a health, or my interpretation is to go into a, change your eating, change what you're doing, to have a destination in mind is almost blocking what you're going to do in the first place. I'm big on, I know a lot of people are very big on set a goal and get there. But to me, when you set that, now you've stopped your growth, and maybe looking at it as the journey itself, the exercise itself, the new food itself is the experience that you're supposed to be having, that you're in.
I totally agree with you. And so, what we were talking about earlier and what you just touched on there was like, fitness in my eyes, fitness wellness in my eyes is very similar to waves. There's highs and lows, and that's how it has to be. That's how it should be. You don't simply just, if we're talking about dropping fat or dropping weight, because that's a big topic for a lot of people just think, all right, if I do these things, I'm at this weight and I'm going to be at this weight in X amount of months. However, it's not a straight line to that weight loss. It should be a peak and valley, a wave in a downward trajectory, if that makes any sense. So I think the same thing for your fitness wellness as a whole, hopefully that trajectory is going up, but it's still going to be in peaks and valleys. I myself, as a personal trainer and a nurse, and Jenna as well, not every day is perfect. And it shouldn't be, it can't be.
Yeah. And I think, something that I like to touch on a lot is that negative self-talk, and that, it's the law of attraction too, really work hand in hand as far as, when you do wake up in the morning, it's that mindset of, I want to do what's right for my body. I want to do what's right for my mind, rather than waking up in the morning and saying, I got to get out of bed and work out because I don't want to be fat.
Exactly.
And, changing that mindset of it's the same action physically, but mentally it's a different perspective shift.
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally get that. And I mean, there's a thing in law of attraction. I'm not a big law of attraction person, that literally just by saying the word fat to yourself, you create that expectation. For me, I liken it more to childcare. Like when my kids were little and I would say to them, you are such a rotten kid, or, like you're chastising them for behaving in a wrong way. You're basically setting them up to behave that way. So we had some comments from some people that are watching us. And Gerald is saying, that's why my abs are still on back order.
They're there.
And,
I promise you they're there.
They are there. I mean, that's what I keep saying. I am so muscular underneath these layers of love that I have added to my body. And that connection to what Jenna was talking about, that mental mindset that we have. So many of us have used the food and the layers as protection. Sometimes not to live, sometimes to protect us from sexual attention from others, sometimes to protect us just emotionally, because we feel like we can wear this layer of armor. And that is definitely a mental shift more than it's a physical shift to make, I think.
Yeah. And, we actually just talked about this a little bit on a live we did yesterday. And I actually have a client that is realizing that, we use food for many more reasons than just to sustain life. And it used to not be that way. When it was more of a survivalist type thing, it was, we do this to survive. Now that it's sort of a luxury and it's in abundance, it is very easy to use it as a coping mechanism. And basically my client was asking me, like, how do I stop this? Like, this is bad when I stress eat. And we were talking about stress eating on the live yesterday. But first of all, stress eating, of course, is not ideal. But if you're stress eating compared to, let's say, what other destructive behavior, maybe it's not as bad as it possibly could be. And sure, you can still curb it, and there's things to do that you can improve it. But I guess to shift the perspective on stress eating, because it gets demonized, I think, a lot, I look at it from the perspective of, well, okay, yes, we can fix it. We can slowly work on it, but at least it's not something else. At least it's not, I don't know, drugs or whatever. So Does that make sense what I'm saying?
And that will be a gratitude point, right? In the stress eating.
There you go. Yes.